Tavern here again with another Darkfall Rise of Agon video. New player tutorial. Today I am going to be talking about all of the crafting skills and options that are available in the game. Trying to give a brief overview of what the progression is. Some skills have basic, some have mastery, some have some prerequisites before you can buy them. They all have a varying degree of gold cost to purchase and upgrade, and they are purchased from different vendors. So a lot of little things to go over. There's also some skills that are crafting related that aren't necessarily crafting but passive that help boost the crafting skills. So we'll talk about that a bit as well. Go into some of the crafting screen UIs, maybe do a little bit of refining, and from there hopefully give everyone that is curious an overview of some of the options and opportunity to craft in this game. With that, let's go ahead and get started. As a brand new player, when you first start out and first create a character, here are the crafting skills that are given to you. You get 3 specific crafting skills, you get 1 utility skill, and then you get all 6 of the harvesting related skills. These skills are given to all characters. There's no gold cost to start on any of these. However, what you start with is really only a small amount of all the options available to you. So let's take a look at the full list. What I've done is broken the crafting skills into a number of different category types. The 3 main categories: refining, gear creation, and utility. And then your passives on the end. And then again, as I mentioned, some skills have masteries that allow you to progress further down the line of that skill. So we'll get to that in a second. Starting with refining, there are only 2, smelting and wood cutting. Smelting, you turn ore into ingots, and wood cutting, you turn timber into wood. Pretty straightforward, with one caveat for smelting. With smelting, there are rare ores, and in that turn you can turn rare ores into rare ingots. Going down the list here: Ferrule, lean spar, Nethal, Velron, Celandine, and then you have your standard iron. These are important to note because the rare ingots are used for mastery level gear crafting. For weapons and staffs and bows, rank 50 and above, and for armor smithing, full plate and above, and then certain shields, you're going to be using Celandine on up into Ferrule, or a combination of those combined with regular mats and potentially some skinning mats as well. So there's going to be a big mix depending on the recipe. In general, as you skill up, the recipes get a little harder to craft. Some of the items that you're going to be crafting with are going to be a little rarer, and then the gold costs are also going to scale up accordingly with the rank of the items. Next, we're going to gear creation. Let's start with armor smithing. So armor smithing at a starting point has 4 armor sets. These are all metal before you get to your mastery. To get mastery, you need 100 skill in armor smithing, then you can purchase mastery. Across all the gear creation utility crafting skill items, there is a skill requirement gate before you can kind of craft the next tier or next rank of item, and that usually comes in increments of 25. So there's basically at skill level 1, or as soon as you buy a new skill, there's a set of items that you can craft, and once you skill up with creating items, you hit 25, it unlocks a different set of items that you can make, and that repeats itself at skill 50, 75, and then 100. In general, this is the case across most of the crafting skills where you're creating items. For bowyer, weaponsmithing, and staff crafting, these 3 in general work the same way, in the fact that you can craft between rank 0 and 40 with the standard skills, and then you can craft higher tier rank 40 all the way up to rank 80 with the masteries. There are a ton of different items between the different ranks and weapon types and bows, and then staffs and staff types and ranks. There really are so many items, it's way too many to list here. I am putting together a crafting sheet, and I have that linked in the video information page that gives you a link to a Google Doc. I'm kind of working on compiling all the information, but in general, it's way too many to list. A lot of the differences between the items as far as the same rank but different item will be maybe a different casting speed or different swing speed in combination with a different damage. Tailoring is where you craft your cloth, leather, and containers. It's also where the bone armor is crafted, which is the primary or higher end gear used for mages. Jewel smithing is where you make your necklaces and rings, and some components for citharas, which are high end one hand weapons. Moving on to utility, let's start with cooking. So, cooking, obviously, you create food, pretty self explanatory, but the importance of food is that it gives you stat regen. Stat regen is very important in this game. You also have transfer spells to manage your stats, but having that passive regen by eating the food is very important. There is a large variety of different foods that you can make, from low tier all the way to high tier. The differences between them are uh, based on these three things. So, number one, how long does the food last? When you eat it, lower tier food lasts about 1 minute, and then max tier food, as far as mastery food, can last up to 25 minutes. Number two is regen. Lower tier foods will have regen for two stats. Starting foods, majority of them are a little bit of health and stam regen, and then like your higher tier food would have regen across all three stats. So including your mana, stamina, and health, you would have up to maybe 3 times as much as like as a baseline or a tier 1 food. The other things that food can provide are protection buffs and stat buffs. This concludes part 1 of 2.